Individualistico. I just finished watching your video and I decided to do a quick response. So you said, and I'm just paraphrasing here, that figuring out which acts are moral and which acts are immoral are counterproductive because it doesn't allow one to evaluate the consequences. However, I disagree. Just so you know, I am an objectivist. I think you misunderstand the definition of morality, and I think you've surrendered the word over to philosophers such as Kant. Morality is the code of values which you choose that helps guide your decisions and actions. So what is and isn't moral is entirely dependent upon your code of values. So since living is my ultimate goal, all that which achieves this goal is good, and all that which diminishes it is evil. I value wealth because it is a means that helps further better my experience of life. I have a choice. It's a very important decision that will determine the means in which I accumulate wealth, either by fraud and theft or by productive efforts and trade. Since my ultimate goal is living, since my ultimate goal is to achieve a long and pleasant life, I have to evaluate the consequences of both alternatives. Theft is never the better alternative. It disables any right to self-defense I may have and destroys all rights to claim ownership of any property. If I were to steal property, who is to say that I have the right to own it? The only arbiter in the crook's world is the gun. However, in the world of the trader, the only arbiter is reality. Being successful in the business world is far more beneficial, not to mention easier, than it is to be successful in the world of robbery. You make the comparison between deontologists and consequentialists. You say that deontologists think that the life of any innocent man is, or taking the life of any innocent man is wrong regardless of the consequences, and consequentialists think otherwise. The reason why you don't take innocent life regardless of the consequence is because if you do take an innocent man's life, you're robbing him of his right to live, destroying the sanction that protects your right to life. Again, I'm looking at the consequences to determine the morality of an action. If you wish to live without having to constantly prepare for a possible backstabbing, then you have to accept that all men have an inalienable right to life, and that the initiation of force against another man is the most heinous act anyone can commit. In an extreme situation, if you were being held hostage and the thug gave you the choice between either the thug killing you or you taking the life of another hostage, what you choose to do here is not a question of ethics. Ethics deals with the code of values that guide your day-to-day life. This scenario is an extreme situation and does not define how you would live normally. You're being forced into a situation that would otherwise be against your morality. A value, and therefore morality, can only exist to those who can achieve a goal in the face of an alternative. In this scenario, you have no alternative. It's either kill this man or life's over. And I know you didn't really bring this up in your video, however, I think a lot of people who question objectivist ethics or who question pretty much any kind of ethical value throw this type of question into the mix, and they say, oh, your system of values is wrong because you would take the life of an innocent man. But that's not the case here. This isn't even a question of ethics. It's just an extreme situation which, for the most part, in a free society is never going to happen to you. In the last part of your video, you stated that it's ethical for us to have laws to protect us from stupid people. Then you go and say it's ethical for a madman to kill other humans if he so desires. Ethics is not the province of whim, but the province of reality or of reason, and of reason, sorry. Whatever we may differ on, the one thing that has to be universal if men wish to live with one another is that fraud, slander, and the initiation of force must be barred from human relationships. The biggest evil, despite your morality, is the initiation of force. This is because before you can even form a value or form the sentence to state otherwise, you must be free to think.